What is going on? It's Thursday, 3 p.m. Exactly.
Exactly.
And we are coming to you live. This is the Geeky Gamer Podcast. And it is a moment in your week where Bill and Ken get together to be geeks and gamers and podcasting. Tonight we're talking Dreadlore. We're going to do some character creation, but first the score is by all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt, as well as the production that you see right now for all its wonderment is Couchfire Media. And as every week goes, Terrible Productions brings us the things that they do every week.
All the things from 2018 to 2023.
Yeah. Apparently in 2023, that was significant.
That's where it ended.
That's where it ended.
That's when it all went tits up.
So
and that was it.
This is Dreadlore. We're doing some character creation instead of playing this week. And instead of being live on Twitch, which is what we do.
Well, we're doing a GGP rather than a Dreadlore. Also, isn't it 7 o'clock your time? Or technically it's 6:30 your time. But
it is 6:30 my time.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
We're out of time and space, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Monday either, but... Or it's not Thursday. No, it's Thursday. It's Thursday at 3 p.m.
Wait, what?
Are you kidding? Clearly.
I am confused.
So am I.
I'm so confused. So these people... I've got like every browser on my deal. So what we're going to do today is we've been through season 2 of GGP, Geeky Gamer Podcast. We've been going through character creations of new tabletop role-playing games, new to us. And then if there's time, doing a short encounter. And if there's time, talking about the games. And we will do subsequent episodes with some of these games that we've played. Because, the first time you play a game, you really don't know it, and you kind of have to settle into it. So I think that's interesting. Ken, do you think that's interesting?
I think that people are afraid to learn new games. I think that's interesting. Like, where's the fear in learning something new? And
fear's mind killer, dude.
It's not all about some like one gaming platform. I think if one gaming platform holds the market for everybody's attention, or just a few, and they're owned by major corporations that just
what are you talking about?
just maybe we need to have more than one.
Yeah.
Make it
so
local.
We're gonna go through the character. We're gonna go through the character creation of which game though?
Dreadlore.
It's not gonna be the big one, the big game that everybody knows.
Oh, like not the Red Writ or Into Space. That big one.
Into space. No, at some point we probably will do a D&D version of GGP. Why not?
Oh, I see.
Why not?
Into space.
This is the Dreadlore book. This is the paperback version of the Dreadlore book. It is a tome. Everything is in it. I was just talking to one of my buddies, one of my game creator buddies, about this book, and he had just made a character, and he was telling me the pros and cons and all that. So one of the things that I'm working on is a thing called the playbills. And the playbills, they are not pre-generated characters. A pre-generated character meaning a character sheet that has already been made, right? So people can just jump into an adventure. I don't really like pre-gens. You don't really, like, yes, the work is done, but you really don't know the character. You still have to read everything. You still have to figure it out. You don't know how to use them. I think it's much more conducive to learning a game, making your character. However, there is a bit of a barrier to entry with Dreadlore, and that is it's a big book, and there's a lot of choices you can make, like to be completely honest, maybe preventative amount of choices. So if you're into making choices and delving into it, it's perfect. It's perfect for you. If not, what I'm working on are these playbills, and I've been heavily influenced by this game that was introduced to me a few weeks ago called Monster of the Week, which we should also do a playtest of. I'm actually going to write that down really quick. Anyway, the playbills, it's going to be a character when you're finished with it that is just like making a character out of the book. But it's going to streamline the character creation process to where you just make some choices, like a finite number of them. It gives you almost multiple choice. Boom, 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 boom. What do you pick? Bam, you have a character. Kind of simplifies some of the stuff, doesn't use the extra rules, and you can play Dreadlore that way. I think that will make character creation squashed down, and that's the goal. Now, I'm not 100% finished with the playbills, but I do have a whole bunch of notes, and we're going to see if it works. Assuming it does, I'm going to run some of this one-page adventure. This is Mulciber's Flute. It's an adventure location by Michael Prescott. And sorry, Ken, I didn't share any of this with you. But I also don't want you to grab it because I don't want you to know. I don't want you to read it because this tells all the dark, and this is not for players. Okay, it's for the person running the game. Anyway, this is very OSR, old school Renaissance. Oh yeah, very OSR kind of gaming. So think pre Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition. We'll see if we get to it. I think we will. It's hateful and awesome. Okay. Ken, do you have a piece of paper?
No.
And perhaps a pen?
Nope.
Hey, you got a character sheet.
I got
Sweet.
nothing.
Okay. Now here's the thing.
I don't know where to put my dice.
Yeah, you'll need those. But you won't need them right now. So we can take like a minute break or something when you go find them.
Sure.
So you have made several. Oh, apparently I have a mega echo on screen.
Oh, I believe you. I think it's probably because I'm not wearing my headphones. Let's try this. Let's see. Making me change my setup. What about now?
Let's see. We'll find out.
Oh, you do have an echo. I mean, I think it's weird. I think it's weird. Everything is weird.
Let's see if this is good.
Oh, that.
Okay, that fixed it.
Did it? I fixed it because, like, if anybody has to wear headphones, it's me, apparently. It's always got to be me wearing the headphones.
It's always you. Can't have anything. Thank you, Natalia Cline.
Yep.
Soupy Jones letting us know what's up.
But it was probably fine when I was talking.
No, apparently it was all over.
Oh, really? Should we do it again?
So.
Should we restart?
No. We'll just keep on going. All right, so. Indeed, actually, Soupy. Should we do it again? You let us know. In the meantime, I'm going to continue. So. Ken, you have made several Dreadlore characters from scratch. Correct?
Yeah, many.
And it's an amazing experience.
I've made maybe 5 or 6 or 7.
Yeah, you made a bunch. This is going to feel, for
different.
lack of a better term, very simple.
Oh.
I hope.
Okay.
And you will likely have questions like, but wait a minute, don't I get this and this and this and this and this and... No, you don't.
It's the
because
OSR
the person who...
aspect.
Well, this is going to be the playbill version of character creation for Dreadlore. So
Nice.
the idea is for new people to Dreadlore, you hand them these 2 sheets. They make some choices and they can play. And these 2 sheets is what they need. And then the arbiter has got to have the book. If you want to delve into the game, you got to have the book. But you should be able to play this game with these 2 sheets and a person who knows how to play. That's the goal of this. So there's going to be a lot of options that you will know about that a normal person wouldn't.
Yeah, it's because they're normies. That's why.
Norms. Okay.
And things evolve.
So-
you know, you can't stay in the same place and expect different things to happen.
My neck is like, ugh. Okay. So here are the playbills thus far. Okay. We're going to be doing a bit of a fantasy game tonight, assuming we get to Mulciber's Flute.
Oh, does that mean I get to make a wizard?
You can potentially make a wizard. Yes, you can. All right. So here are the playbills that I currently have. A lot for. They're not character classes. It's an archetype of a character. So it's still Dreadlore. In Dreadlore, there are not character classes. It's a setup for your character. That's what these playbills are. All right. You got the believer or the cultist. There's 8 of them. You have the hustler, the creature, the butcher, the tinkerer, the white knight, the horror, and the hero.
Oh, nice. I should I pick now? I feel like I should pick now because if I don't, I'm gonna forget.
Yeah, you have to pick now. So the idea would be you would have several of these character sheets, and they would have each of these written.
Oh,
They're
nice.
all different, and you pick one.
Yeah.
Who wants to play this? Who wants to play this? Blah blah blah.
I'll pick the horror because Craster is why not?
All right. So the horror is a character with otherworldly roots and who concentrates on martial prowess with some mysticism.
Yeah.
All right. Backgrounds. So you get to choose a number of backgrounds based on what I tell you, of course.
Sure.
And that will be, give me just a moment.
Do I rate horror somewhere?
Yeah. So you write the horror at the top.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it in the other place.
Yeah.
Or would it be who is a horror? Who does?
I would say who is a horror. Yeah. That's actually really good. Wow. That's great.
It's so much goodness.
All right. For your backgrounds, actually, we'll pause the backgrounds because I'm just going to follow the playbill.
Okay.
So you have your titled traits. So we're going to do those first on your character sheet. Just a moment. Pick the horror. I'm looking through all sorts of Google Docs. All right, so we'll start out with my list is going to be in a little bit different order than yours from your character sheet, but it should be all basically the same. So your race, you've got Denna, Zunth, Schnallfolk, Crossed, Myroshi.
So what was the second one?
Zunths. Zunths are the reptile people.
The Zunths.
Yep. Yeah,
Zunths.
Next one is the origin. So you've got Daloon, the Expanse, Lapis Regnum, Rainy, or Azraelia.
And you said origin.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with Dudes.
Their place would be Rainy. That's Reine.
What was it? Read the list again.
Yep. Daloon, the Expanse, Lapis Regnum, Rainy, or Azraelia.
Oh, yeah. So whatever that first one was.
Daloon. So that's the north. So for anyone listening, this is in the Dreadlore lore. It's the world of Craster. And all of the terms that I'm talking about are in this book. So if you want the lore, you go here. And the playbill will have a little description of each of these races and territories and all that crap. So it just gives you enough to say, oh, I would like it to be Azraelia. It's more Persian, deserty, Middle East environment. Or Daloon, it's more temperate, mountainous. Rainy Wilds, it's more tropical, Amazon forest type stuff. Okay. Next is your sort. So this has to do with your race. For you, you would pick Buto or Ophidian. Buto are the dragon inspired. Ophidian are the snake inspired, or serpentine.
I think that the dragon inspired.
Okay, so you're Buto. That's Buto.
And that is
you're pretty
the
large.
sort?
You got thick, dry scales. You do not have a tail.
Oh, no tail. I like that tail. All right.
You do have claws.
Yeah.
All right.
Claws
For your
are
fate.
great.
Fate is rolled randomly. I don't like D20s, so we're not going to roll a D20. My buddy Jeff was like, just make it 20 instead of 22 options, and they can just roll a D20. I was like, right.
Yeah,
but then you roll a D20 in the game, and I don't want you to roll a D20.
I'm gonna roll D12s, isn't it?
You can roll a D20 if you want.
I don't have any dice, so.
Oh, you don't have any dice.
so I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a D12 because I just pulled up the dice. I rolled a 6.
Okay, and then roll it again.
And then the second roll is a 2.
Okay, so the first roll tells it's the lower half of 22, and then you rolled a 2, so it's number 2. Yeah. You are the magician. This is your fate.
Oh, nice. I called it.
Indeed. The magician is as above, so below. Willingness to choose creates the world. As is above is so below. It's the idea of a lot of different things, but basically mind over matter. All right. Nature. You get to choose one of these 4. Monstrous, dominating, terrifying, or mighty.
You said monstrous, dominating, terrifying, or mighty?
Yep.
Terrifying.
All right.
And I write that down where?
Yep. Under nature.
Nature. Terrifying.
Mm-hmm. All right. Demeanor. You get to choose terrifying, mysterious, menacing, or unsettling.
Unsettling. Oh, mysterious.
Okay.
No, unsettling seems like it seems like it goes along more of a He's a horror. He should be a little unsettling. So I think that's a better adjective.
Yep. All right. So your swagger. Choose supernatural presence, dark powers, terrifying appearance, or arcane auras.
What was the first one?
Supernatural presence.
Supernatural presence. I think that's nice. And that's a swagger.
Yeah. Physicality is beastly, striking, predatory, or superhuman.
Superhuman.
All right. Fine. Next, we're going to go to kind of editing this as we go through.
Nice.
Another thing that I'm going to be doing is changing the character sheet, obviously, because it'll be using these playbills instead of the character sheet. So derangements will actually be a little bit later. Okay. Flaws. Inhuman, destructive, alien, or monstrous.
Alien?
Mm-hmm. Motto. You get to choose this, or you can pick embrace the darkness.
Embrace the darkness. Or I mean, my favorite one so far is no gift goes unpunished, but I am the knight. How's that?
Oh yeah, I dig it.
With an N, not a K.
With an N, right, not a K.
Not a K. I am the knight.
The Kinnick. All right, your focus is gonna be burning.
Burning. That means I get 3 backgrounds.
Actually, it doesn't necessarily mean you have 3 backgrounds.
Oh, well, dang.
But that's actually another thing that Jeff was saying is tying tier of play and focus and all that stuff together. So I don't know. It's a bit of an optional rule. Okay. It does simplify things, but okay. All right. So there's all that. Let's see. Yes, your plug. So for this adventure, the reason that you're in the game, right?
Yes.
Is to find the truth.
Truth finding.
Your tier of play is going to be 2.
2.
Yep, it means you're seasoned.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, your tier of play is 1. That's my bad.
Oh.
I'm looking at the wrong sheet.
1
tier
is
play
seasoned.
1
is a newbie, right?
Coming of age.
Coming of age. Well,
It's the discovery tier of play. All right. For backgrounds, you're going to have 2 backgrounds. Here are the backgrounds, which I know you already know. So you choose 2 of them.
okay.
Or you can choose the same one twice. Apothecary, ascetic, which is a thinker. Devout, so a holy person or a believer. Fortunate, this is someone of wealth or fortune. Mage, mercenary, ranger, the underdog, and warrior. So you pick 2.
Let's see here. I think I'm going to go with mage.
Okay. You going both times or just once?
Mage and warrior, probably. Warrior mage. Mage warrior.
Warrior mage.
I'd probably
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna
All right.
go Mage Warrior.
Okay. Just a moment. I'm looking this thing up. You did the horror. Also, all of this will be in one deal. Okay. So Ken, how have you been lately?
Pretty good. I'm looking for the mage. I'm at oh, here we go. Mage.
Well, don't go into the book because we're only using the playbills.
Well, I'm just doing it to show.
Oh, I see. Cool.
What's happening. I don't know any of, because I've never been allowed to be a mage before in any of our previous games. Like I'd like a realistic game where like you are basically the meat in which I devour you. This is Bill talking.
Now hold on a second. It's just a minute. Technically, in the Red Writ, you play a mage.
Nope, I play an apothecary. Technically,
you could have played a mage.
Okay,
you could have.
You could do anything.
But when you were given the chance to cast spells, you're like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, well, it's because
dangerous.
Yeah, it's because that was, we'd played for a while, and
you knew you were scared,
and Nord made a decision that magic was frightening stuff.
It is.
And if you have any idea of what we're secretly talking about, please check out the Red Writ.
The Red Writ.
It's on. If you search Dreadlore, the Red Writ on YouTube, which is where you're watching this right now.
Yep.
You too can. We got a playlist.
Or on Geeky Gamer Podcast, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you search the Red Writ on Spotify,
the Red Writ,
find
or anywhere. If you just get on Google or Bing or Yelp. I don't think we're in Yelp.
If you go outside and yell, the Red Writ, and you hear an echo, you know you're on to something. Okay?
The Red Writ.
All right, so what did you pick for your backgrounds?
Mage Warrior.
The Mage Warrior, Gandalf.
Yeah.
All right. So you get to choose, since you picked Mage. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't get to choose. You get these.
Yeah.
Magical tattoos.
Magic tattoos.
This would be in gifts.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And forbidden thoughts.
Forbidden thoughts.
And for warrior, you get to pick one of these two.
Okay.
Either bearded or 1,000-mile stare. So either bearded, which means you're really tough and intimidating because you got a beard, or 1,000-mile stare. You get that knowing emptiness in your glare.
1,000-mile stare.
All right. So that's your gift for warrior.
Is the magical tattoo that's in the book, isn't it?
Yeah. So
and
what?
So
what
is the forbidden
thoughts. Those are all gifts that are actually in the book.
Yeah. Cool.
So what the playbills do is they just, instead of giving you a choice, it's like, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Boom. And that will be determined by the playbill. So for example, if someone picks mage, in another playbill, then it might be a different gift.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's neither here nor there yet. And as I put these playbills out, I think the gifts might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you kind of get something different for them. So each playbill can kind of be unique and give different gifts and expand on the book and everything. So 1,000 Mile Stare is an intimidation thing, of course, because you have the 1,000 Mile Stare. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory in that. But I'll actually read you what it does really fast.
Do it. I'll read Forbidden Thoughts, if that helps.
Yeah. So there's an emptiness in your gaze, a horror in your glower. You've seen and most likely taken part in the doing of some terrible things. Let's see. Your 1,000 Mile Stare can convince people, your foes, that your course of action is best. So it's like an intimidation.
Yeah.
So that's what you can use it for.
Nice.
And then you wanted to read one?
Sure. Forbidden Thoughts. Pondering the ether and pursuing forbidden tomes has offered you knowledge of properties, myths, and dangers about the ineffable. You likely encountered something from a realm other than the natural, which has given you otherworldly insight. Gain an additional flaw related to that experience. So I get another flaw.
Yep. And that's something that you would either write down. I might even say that Forbidden Thoughts is the flaw.
Oh.
But for you, since, just put down a little tick that you have another flaw.
Okay.
Magical tattoos. Your magicka is written in your truck and skin. This unorthodox technique of practicing magicka makes it difficult for other mages to identify the sort you wield. So it's not completely obvious what kind of magic you're using.
Nice.
These arcane tats shimmer and vibrate when you practice your fell arts, when you take damage, and sometimes for reasons you don't even know. So magical tattoos will give you +2 plot armor, by the way.
Wow.
When we actually delve into.
Okay.
Yep. And that's one of the things is I'm going to make, because you don't choose them in the playbills, you'll gain kind of a mechanical bonus for them.
Okay.
Okay.
It's neat.
So that's that. So you got through backgrounds, which you did too. Now we're on derangements. So your derangements. You pick one. Phobia, tics. Tics are erratic behavior. Personality, for example, being brooding. Attention, so think ADHD or fixation. Dissociative means detached. And psychosis, which means delusions of grandeur, persecution, this sort of stuff.
I'm going to go with dissociative.
Okay. So dissociative means you disassociate from humanity. Yeah. And as you see on your sheet, should be 6 boxes, or there are 5 on yours.
There's 6. 6.
Yeah, good. So one of the elements here is when you get to 4, which you won't do this time, maybe, you start rolling with basically disadvantage your sanity rolls. Mm-hmm. And the new character sheet will have a sanity like plot. Basically, it's your D10 and your mind die, but you roll that with detriment, meaning you roll twice and take the worst.
Nice.
All right. Got all that stuff. Continuing down. So now you have traits. You have 5 traits. These are for you to decide in-game, or if you want to now, you can do them impromptu. So, hey, someone's attacking you with a brick. Brick Defender is one of my traits, and now you have that. You have 5 of these.
And it's nice to kind of do that as you go, you say sometimes?
I think all the time. Because the whole idea is you want your traits to be what you play.
Yeah.
And instead of what you think you're going to play.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
So you have 5 traits. That should be marked on your sheet. But
starting traits 5.
Go ahead. All right. We'll go down to over to your aspects.
I have aspects.
You have aspects.
So you're gonna give me these.
Oh yeah. So you are tier 1.
Yeah.
So your mind is 3.
3.
Your brawn is 4.
4.
Your
Wow.
wits are 2.
2.
And your grace is 3.
Wow. All right.
Okay. Shh. Because you're a Zunth. Let's see. I haven't finished all this up. Gotta actually look it up. Give me a second.
You get some bonuses, right? They got tougher hide, I think.
Yeah, that's what it is. Just a second. Right. So, because you're a Zunth, in general, you have reptilian eyes, so you can see in the dark.
Oh, low light, and that doesn't include.
So is
that a starting trait, or do I get 5 additional?
It is a start. Or it is a trait, so you get that in addition. It's actually you gain infravision.
Yeah.
So you can see heat signatures, is what it is. Meaning you can't technically see in the dark, but you can see heat signatures in the dark. And basically, if you were in complete darkness, assuming there's heat or some sort of variation, you could see. So unless you're in space or something, there's very few places that you're actually going to be blind.
Space.
Okay. Because you're a Buteau, you get thick-skinned, and that gives you a +3 plot armor.
Making a tank, by the way. A tank wizard.
Yeah, dude. You did pick warrior. All right. You also are clawed, so you have retractable claws, and they deal a d4 of damage.
So I'm going to put that over here.
I'd put that in your ninja gear.
Yeah. Just a D4. How much do Zens do damage-wise?
So
1?
Normally there is no damage die for hand-to-hand. You have to take something to do that. So pretty much it's all based on how much over the threshold you roll. For example, you're going to punch someone in the face. Let's say it's threshold 2. You use your brawn, all that stuff. You get 2 over. You deal 2 damage.
Okay.
You deal that and a die 4 of damage.
Wow. Okay, I get you. I understand that.
So your claws are like light weapons.
My claws.
Yeah, and you're pretty beefy.
And I'm beefy.
Okay, so you're a mage. So you get an instrument of power. You get to choose a staff, a wand, or an amulet.
I think I'm gonna go with amulet.
Okay, so that is a piece of ninja gear, and what it does, it acts as a focus for your magicka, but also, if you bid that piece of ninja gear, it gives you a d6 extra die.
Oh, nice.
So this is all playable stuff.
Are there any traits or attributes to this?
Yeah. So magical is what it is. Yep. Spelt with a K and a C, both.
CK? MCJAK?
K, double K. All right, so that's because you're a mage. Because you're a warrior, you get to choose a travel pack and an axe or a sword.
Travel pack.
Sword or a spear.
Travel pack.
Okay, so travel pack and an axe.
Okay.
Now these aren't finished; they'll be refined a little bit.
Okay.
But it's just sort of like a build out.
Well, I want to smell good with my axe spray.
Oh God. I don't know if it smells good though.
It doesn't. I mean, that's sort of like, I think that should be. It would be a funny thing if every time I pulled out my axe, it had like a stink to it.
Oh God, it smells like frat boys. It's like that's all I do is kill frat guys. Sorry, frat guys.
No.
All right, so your plot armor. This is your brawn and your mind combined, plus any bonuses you have.
7 plus 3, which is 10, plus 2, which is 12.
You've got your actually, now that I do this, it would make a lot of sense. See, this is great. This is me seeing what I need to do.
Yeah. How do I fix this nonsense?
Yeah, this is great. I like it. We're first going to do ninja gear, actually, because ninja gear can actually affect all of this.
Yeah, I think I usually what I do. This is a thing that I always do on. I'm gonna put my finger there on the. I don't know if my thing is backwards, but here I always put the plot armor and then a dash over it. So if I'm wearing armor, or under it, if I'm wearing armor, it's
I see.
It changes.
Yeah, that's a good move. And that comes with, practice of making characters and such, and kind of knowing how it works.
Yeah.
Okay, so ninja gear is what we'll do first. You get something that protects. So you can choose a piece of armor or a shield.
I'm going to go with, I guess, armor. The armor.
Yep. Let's see.
And what is it? Medium armor is like stifling and.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, tonight we're doing character creation for a little known homebrew role-playing game that you can find anywhere. You can go to Lulu Press. You can go to Amazon if you feel corporate-y. It's out there for you. You too can play this game. It's not owned by a major corporation. Bill created this all by himself with a few other people who did the artwork, and the artwork's actually quite good. I didn't do any artwork on this at all, so it's probably better than most. I think he clearly drew some of this, and I think there's some fun stories it starts out with this really wonderful prologue that gets you into the world of Craster, which is Dreadlore can be set anywhere, but I think for motivational, a lot of the reasons why they make these books is to find setting and place and time to enjoy world building and creating a place that is more exciting than your bedroom, potentially.
All right. Thank you. So for your warrior, you get a choice of these things. You can go light or medium armor and a light or medium weapon. An example would be light armor and a spear, medium armor and a bow, or you can do heavy armor and a heavy weapon.
Oh.
So like a two-handed something.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the medium.
Okay.
Armor.
So medium armor gives you a +6 armor, or plot armor.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it +4?
I think it's 4.
I think it's 4.
And it's got some traits on it. Stifling is 1.
Yeah.
And then
noisy? No, medium armor gives a +6.
Oh, is it +6?
Yeah, it's +6.
So stifling and noisy, is that correct?
Yeah, those work. And so that gives you a D8 for extra dice on it. And you're going medium. So medium weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So you already have an axe. You could have an arming sword. You could have a polearm is probably more of a heavy weapon, but like a light polearm, a spear would be fine. One of those sorts of things.
Yeah. I mean, can I just make the axe a medium weapon for?
Yeah. An axe is a medium weapon, unless it's a hand axe.
Just a axe.
Yeah, the difference is how much damage they do.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to get away. I already have a sword, so I'm trying to get away from the sword.
Yeah.
Can't throw the axe though. It's not a throwing axe. It's a.
You can throw an axe. If it's a hand axe, a light weapon, it's actually easily thrown.
Yeah.
If it's a medium weapon, an axe can be thrown.
Yeah.
It's just not as far. So examples of medium weapons would be scimitars, arming swords, short swords, broadswords, rapiers, spears, hammers, clubs, whips, crossbows, short bows, javelins. Those are all medium weapons. And the playbill will literally have it written out like in a nice little pick this one or pick this one.
Mm-hmm.
But for this, I haven't gotten that far yet. So pick a ranged weapon or perhaps one of those. Okay. For your mage, you get a trinket.
Trinkets.
Yes. All right. So you get to pick. Do you want it to be something alchemical, like an elixir? Or do you want it to be a gadget of some sort, like an instrument?
I would like it to be maybe that's a really good question. I don't know. Instrument.
All right.
Because why not?
Okay, roll a d6.
Good. I will. I'm going to use...
I'll do that right now. Where are your dice?
I'm going to bring the dice into this. A D6, the D6 says 5.
Okay. You get what's called a tourist trap. It is light, so if you hit someone with it, it does a d4.
Oh, no.
A tourist trap is a collapsible sign made of metal and wood.
Mm-hmm.
Its internal devices are entirely clockwork and make soft clicking sounds when operating. The sign can be written on or engraved upon. The sign also holds a handful of independent messages that can be made to switch at random, automatically over a period of time, or to do so if a tripwire or pressure plate's tripped.
So it has to be a sign, though.
It's a sign. It's a sign. It's a little billboard you can carry. And with clockwork, make it say different crap depending on the time of day, or you can write on it.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of those little creatures that Arthur Dent and Ford Prefect were running from when they escaped the Vogons out of the bureaucracy, and they were running. Or maybe it was Zaphod and Ford. They left the building, and they had all these little trap creatures that when they got near them, they made a little click and then snapped up. I think that's funny.
I love it.
Add a little humor.
And these are your loadouts, basically.
Yeah. Mine's going to say free lunch.
That would be an awesome trait. So it does a d6 extra die. I love it. So basically all of that is based on your backgrounds. And the way this will work, one of Jeff's idea was just pick a tier. and then go for it.
Mhm.
I like these playbills to be a little bit more versatile. At the same time, it would be just as easy to have tier 1 build outs, tier 2 build outs, tier 3 build outs. And that way it actually makes a very simple thing. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it, but it'll be as easy as pick A or B. And it, you roll on the chart and that's what you get. I think that's kind of cool. Okay. That's your ninja gear. You got weapon, trinkets, protects. Cool. Now we're going to go to your attributes. So calculate your plot armor. That's your brawn plus your mind plus any protection.
Okay.
You have 6 wounds. You have 6 sanity. Your sanity roll will be, so this is not on your character sheet. It'll be on the new one. Make a little circle or an extra space for sanity roll.
Mm-hmm.
And it's your action die, so D10 and your mind die.
Okay.
Now, knowing the game, you don't have to do that, but it'll be there to write down just so people know it.
Yeah. I get it.
Cunning is grace and wits.
Yeah.
Plus any bonuses, which you don't have. You would have from if you chose Denna, you would have gotten more cunning.
Yeah.
Breath is the number of backgrounds plus 1.
So it's
So
3.
you have 2 backgrounds.
Oh.
So 3.
Oh, I thought 3. That's what I said. All right.
Yep. Your experience is 0 of 3. When you hit 3 experience, you advance. Advancements are 0. Pips, you will have 1 of 5. You have a maximum of 5. You'll have 1 starting out. In narrative points, you'll have 1 of 5. And you can have a maximum of 5.
All right. Narrative points 1 of 5. And what was the other one? What was the first thing you said?
1. You have 1 narrative point and you have 1 pip.
Pip. And start off with a pip. What?
Yeah, I know. All right. Now, for some reason, it irks me a little bit. I was doing offline edits using Chrome, and it actually didn't save. It didn't save the edit into this sheet. So, talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm going to see if I can actually find this really fast. And
I was looking at the weapons for creature and for my axe, and it looks like there's a section called medium weapons, and I'm going to read from that. And this is how I designed the axe. It's a prominent weapon used by warriors and mercenaries alike. Medium weapons, these are weapons which have some weight, are uneasily thrown, and it'd take too long to mention all the types, but here are a few. Zen will assuredly encounter short swords, arming swords, scimitars, broadswords, rapiers for dueling, spears, war axes. I guess it's a war axe. And hammers, clubs, whips, as well as melee or ranged weapons like crossbows, short bows, javelins, and so forth. They deal 1d4 damage plus 1. The cost is pricey. The range increment is long. So I presume that's a long range for close combat.
It's for ranged weapons.
The range weapon.
For ranged weapons. So if you had a bow, it would be a long range.
Yeah, I got it. I gotcha.
So the range is, again, this will be in the playbill. You get close, point blank, point blank, close, short, medium, long, and far. And typically, you can move a medium distance. Okay, so on your traits, the first 2 traits, this is not on your character sheet. I'm moving major goal, minor goal, and plug. So plug is going to be I actually put it as a titled trait. It actually should be a normal trait. They're just going to be traits. So I'm moving them over.
Mm-hmm.
On your character sheet, we're now going to do your major and minor goal.
Okay.
And that's by and large for the player to figure out,
Right.
which is part of the game. You know, you get to choose what your goals are.
Sure.
So obviously you don't need to choose them right now because you don't know the setting.
Yeah.
But make sure you put a mark on there that you're gonna add them.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get experience.
Yeah, I got those two.
It's how you get experience, and it's how you regain your resources.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's it. Oh, proficiencies. Sorry. Aha.
Yeah, I
Just
got
1 second.
abilities and proficiencies.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, I'd gone to the next thing. So your proficiencies. Oh, I just closed that damnable.
And it's gone forever. The end. Everyone dies.
Okay, you are tier 1.
Tier 1.
So just a moment. Oh, that was strange. Yeah, that's annoying. So it didn't update. So sorry. I've got 3 computers open right now. It's kind of ridiculous.
I have 2. I mean, don't talk to me about computers.
Okay, sweet. So you're tier 1. Okay, this is how proficiencies will work on the playbill. In yours, you have 6 different kinds of proficiencies.
Sure.
I'm simplifying that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's a box that says proficiencies,
Mm-hmm.
which is rerolls. And I'm probably just going to call them rerolls
Mm-hmm.
going forward in the errata. You get 4.
4. A total
You
of
have 4 rerolls.
And that's it.
That's it. Yep.
Unless you have an
You
ability.
can use them. Yeah, right. Unless it's something that
Or
adds
something.
to it. So you can reroll a die 4 times. Doesn't matter what the die is, and that's how it works.
Okay.
So that way, it doesn't have to be violence or skullduggery or whatever.
Sure.
I think that flavor text is awesome, but it seems like a needless.
Well, it makes it
complexity.
a little more rules light.
Yeah. And as cool as it is, it's like to justify using, learning to hack someone in the head and be like, okay, I'm doing it to see what's inside.
Yeah,
It's
I
just a
wanted to know where
proficiency.
the spleen was.
That's the thing. I like the narrative aspect of doing that,
Sure.
but everyone I've talked to, they're like, oh, I have to make more choices. And I'm like, you just get 4. There you go.
Yep.
Okay. So you get 4 of those since you're tier 1.
Mhm.
And then we'll go over to, I need to really consolidate this stuff. Your abilities.
Ability.
So
Abilities.
you get to choose.
Abilities. I get to choose the abilities.
Oh, I just closed it again, didn't I? All right, sweet. It just didn't. It's good.
This
We're
has
good.
always been a section that has kind of been confusing to me, so I appreciate going through this section again.
Cool.
As
Good.
You talk first, and then I'll ask my question if you don't answer.
No, go on. Go on.
Well, as a mage warrior, there are a lot of different abilities that aren't necessarily geared towards abilities that I have. Are they limited to what you choose as your backgrounds, or can you can pick any ability, no matter what your background is?
So, okay. I see where this line of questioning goes, but it's a little bit outside of the playbills,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's
Yeah.
more about like the book and the game and what we
Yeah,
can do with
okay.
the book.
All right.
We're just gonna stick with the playbills right now, and I'm totally down to go on a rant about that, but I don't want to mix the issue. We'll see if it's as mixed with the playbills, and then talk about it.
All right. Well, can I choose?
All right, so
go ahead.
you get to choose 2 abilities, and it's of this list. Okay.
Okay.
This is based on the fact that you picked the horror. Okay. So, Scroll of Phantasms, that's creating fear and illusions. This is Magicka. Scroll of the Void, that's manipulating objects and telekinesis in terrifying ways.
Yeah.
Eidetic Memory, that's remembering and using dark knowledge. Arterial Strike, it's precision attacks against adversaries. You gain bonuses to your damage rolls. Wild Summoning, you summon horrors or monstrous entities. Perceiving the Ley Lines, understanding and manipulating dark energies. Loosing the Spirit, that's summoning and controlling dark spirits or entities. And then Iron Guard, that's defensive techniques and protection. Add bonuses to your defense rolls. So I'm going to say them again a little slower. Scroll of Phantasms, Scroll of the Void, Eidetic Memory, Arterial Strike, Iron Guard, Wild Summoning, Perceiving the Ley Line, or Loosing the Spirit. And you get to pick 2. Magicka would be the first 2.
Yeah.
Warrior shit would be the next 2, and then it's more mystical type stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I think I was confused because I think I understand. And is there a page where this is?
There is in the book, but I don't really want you to
you don't want me to look at it. Okay. Yeah. I think Scroll of the Void, and what is that? The second one would be.
Scroll of the Void is basically telekinesis and teleportation and that sort of stuff.
An Arterial Strike.
Arterial Strike. Yep. Okay, so both of these have 1 upgrade, so they give you a +1 to using those things. When you do Magicka using Scroll of the Void, you get a +1 to your throwdown.
Okay.
Assuming you throw down. When you do Arterial Strike, it gives you a +1 to damage.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And +1 to damage, that includes, so let's say you're attacking someone with your axe and you throw down. Well, you have a +1. So that adds to the successes you get.
Okay, I gotcha.
And then that would calculate into damage is the idea. What Arterial Strike also does is it causes them to bleed.
Right.
So this round they get hit, it'll also next round deal them a damage.
I think that's great. It's the gift that keeps giving.
That's right. Okay. That's it.
Oh, okay. And so there's no warrior gift, or there's no warrior ability. Oh, that is. They're both. Okay, I get it.
Yep, that is Finny.
Okay, I'm with you. Because that makes sense. Arterial Strike is a warrior ability,
right?
And Scroll of Void is a mage ability. Warrior mage. The hardest part is coming up with the voice for this nameless character from the deep.
So what do you feel about that kind of character creation?
I think it took, considering we started at exactly 3 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday.
Exactly.
And it says it's 7:38 on Monday or 8:30. I don't know how long it took to create.
When we actually started, my guess is it probably took about half an hour to read through the whole thing.
Okay.
because we had some starts and stops and that kind of
Sure.
thing. If you were sitting there reading it on your own and you were like, oh yeah, here it is.
It would take a lot more time. Yeah.
No, it would be a lot less time. Because it would just be, oh, you see it, boom, 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 click, 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 click. And there's no me looking up like 3 different documents on 3 different computers and a book.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, you have a finished character.
Mm-hmm. Except for my
the
character doesn't have a name.
Yeah. The things that I would change, or that I will change.
Yeah.
In the actual book, if you make a full-fledged, I mean, this is a full-fledged character, but if you go through the actual character creation in the tome, you technically would get an extra ability per background. Technically, you would. I haven't figured out a solid way to make that happen. Because you don't know what people are going to pick. So unless I either have to give, here's what you get done, or I have to give choices. But if you can pick any of the backgrounds, and then you can pick any of the tiers, and you can pick any of this, it gets rather complicated. So I think just saying, okay, if you pick mage, yeah, you get an ability. In the book, you can pick whatever you want. I think in this one, it would say, this is what you get.
Yeah. Well,
like
it's
a +1 to your thing, or whatever it is.
But this is for a specific character creation for a specific task. It's like a little module,
right?
That, if you build the wrong kind of character style with the wrong kind of traits, they're just not going to mesh well with the tasks in this particular playbill.
Yeah, I think so.
Or plobble.
So I think how we'll do it is, because you picked mage as a background, that gives you magical control. Because each of your scrolls has its own magical control.
Sure.
And that's how good you are. So we'll say the ability you gain for that is an extra magical control. So your magical control, your control for Scroll of the Void will be 2 instead of 1.
Oh, you can use it twice a game.
No, it's not that you can't use it. It's not that you can use it twice. It's that what you can do with it is better. And again, this will be in the little description.
So it's
as in when you do the magic, what can you do with it? Well, that's what control tells you. Let me get to it really fast, and I'll describe it to you. This is the reason you never played a mage.
Oh yeah, there's a chaos die every time you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's the one character. I mean, I picked the one character that I've never really created. I got all the other ones.
Okay, so normally control starts at 1, which is humble. Mages with humble control can slightly bend, warp, or nudge pre-existing phenomena. It's like flare and prestidigitation. The duration is fleeting and only lasts as you concentrate. So this is control 1. Control 2 is gross manipulation. Excuse me. You can adjust, sway, or make small alterations to pre-existing phenomena, waves and pulses of energy, amorphous or shapeless creatures, bumbling or harsh movements. The duration is a tad longer, a short period of time, and ceases after you concentrate or shortly thereafter. It fades. So an example of what you can do with void magic is this. Let's see. So a void mage is called an arcanist. An arcanist's telekinesis could move small objects about in clumsy, unsubtle ways. So that's gross manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the Force. You could grab something and throw it at someone or pull it from someone, but you can't do fine motor movements with it.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing buttons, opening doors, that kind of thing. But you couldn't perform surgery with telekinesis.
Sure. That's why Doctor Strange needed to make the choice. If he focused on his hands, then he wouldn't have any magic left to do magic anymore.
Right. That's right. So Scroll of the Void, I'll do a short description of what it is. The materials for it are sanity. So you make sanity rolls when you do Scroll of the Void.
Yeah.
The Void is the general term arcanists, or gazers, as they are otherwise called, used to describe the slippery places that exist outside of the natural realm and the interstitial spaces between them. Mages of this ilk attempt to peer into the void using teachings from the Scroll of the Void. They're never quite sure what place they perceive or slide through. It's simply elsewhere. Particularly advanced arcanists sometimes discover the dark of other realms, even gaining some proficiency in tapping and navigating them. Of course, mortal Zens, or people, were probably never meant to tap into such unnatural places. Doing so eventually renders them utterly barmy or worse. Arcanists either ignore the advice of their level-headed peers or decide to brave the chaos. Doing so offers rewards both exciting and powerful.
And so why better than a one-shot or a character creation to build one character that, has a limited life of sanity anyway. And maybe a goal would be to get all 6 derangements.
Ooh,
in a setting.
Interesting. All right. The Arbiter's Dark. Sensing the void in any way requires all who observe, or experience it, including the Arcanist, to make a sanity roll or to bid a relevant trait to resist it. So if you do void magic, you have to make a sanity roll. Let's see. What else can you do with it? I'm just going to read this to you so you know what void magic is. This is, by the way, what, not Simon Vincent. What is Hulker's character's name?
Hulker and the Red Writ.
The Red Writ.
Hulker, his name is not Burgess.
No, it's not. Oh, no.
It is.
Oh, no.
It is. I could tell you. And one second.
There's Nord Zetterberg. There's Simon Vincent. There's
Leah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there
Leah
is
Mizrahi.
If I get there, I should get 6 narratives.
There's Mariah.
Here we go. And
oh my God, what is his name? Oh, Cerniak. Tony Cerniak.
Tony. Yeah, Tony.
Cerniak. So this is the magicka that he is wielding right now in your game.
Yeah.
A horror.
Better him than me.
A horror, for example, you, right, in this character. However, that's dark and very real, looms ominously over even the most brazen of arcanists. They know that someday they might peer too deeply, touch something too fearful, or worse, become entangled in the between. And that would be their story. Gazing into the void irreparably opens a Burke's mind to the chaos lying between the realms. One simply does not look into the void, it looks back. The process requires incredible sturdiness of mind, and if you ask me, stones beneath. Gazers hear whispers echoing through the slipstream between the realms into a place of insanity and weird energies called void channels. These voices can transmit to them secrets otherwise ineffable and always strange. Void channels grant them clues to what lies beyond, an obstacle which they shouldn't be able to see past, or a modicum of intent lying behind the eyes of their foes. Gazers can learn to levitate objects, cloak them in chaos, then make them reappear as though from nothing, and so forth. One could even return a recently broken vase to its undamaged past until it returns to the present and shatters once again.
Nice.
So this is all flavor stuff of the kinds of things you can do. Remember, with the control that you have.
Sure. But also with the potential of going insane.
Oh, yeah. Those powerful enough hone their skill until they can navigate the void in small bursts. These bursts are called hip-hopping, a means of teleportation over small distances. There's also something called skirting the veil. This is full-on transportation.
Nice.
Okay. So
do
that's
they get
enough
to talk to the
flavor
lady at
text.
the veil? I mean, they're basically having...
You don't want to.
Or the mistress?
You don't want to. That's good.
Not a conversation you want to have.
If you're a devout of the veil, or a devout of the lady, the great lady, or of Nightingale as she's known, yeah, you absolutely could. Okay, so yeah, your character's done. That's pretty much it. On the Magicka side, it would have a little bit of flavor text that kind of gives you an idea of what you can do with your control and all that. And boom. Thoughts?
And prayers.
Okay. Well, let's take a short break. And if you want, I think we can go another like 45 minutes to go through a little bit of this and just play around with the character a little. And then we can close it off. What do you think?
Sounds pretty cool.
I shall return.
All right.
With coffee.
Soon to be coffee, Bill, and you, if you drink coffee. We've been playing sort of a mystical version of Dreadlore character creation.
The Dreadlore!
It is a role-playing game that Bill created and wrote this wonderful book. If you've been listening to any of the sound, you might have to turn the volume up really loud, and it's been all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt in the background, as well as special thanks to our Patreons for the Dreadlore campaign, which are Tim, Robert, Daniel Holker, Nostalgic, and Natalia Cline. Couchfire Media brings us art and media production, as well as Trois Replay Productions brings all that other fun stuff to bear. Anyway, we'll be back shortly. Please stay tuned.
do it.
Yeah, it's the Geeky Gamer Podcast. We had a weird as shit technical problem that
Weird as shit.
I can't possibly even begin.
Fathom.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it in a way of things that
Fathoming.
that aren't. It's not understandable. But today we created a new character for this TTRPG game called Dreadlore.
That's right. Yeah.
We might do a little playing, a little role playing.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little playing right now.
And so, let's do it. Let's
right.
manufacture this excitement.
So the adventure we're going to put you through, and I do mean put you through, is called Mulciber's Flute, an adventure location by Michael Prescott. I believe Michael Prescott makes a bunch of these, and I want to say they're free. If they're not free, then they're like $1, and you can usually get them off DriveThruRPG. Pretty sure. I got this specific one from my buddy Jeffrey McNeil. Ken, I'm actually going to send you some links. Should I send it to? Which one of these should I send it to make it rock and roll?
If you want me to put it on the screen, send it to Ken Howl.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
That would probably be the better.
Because they actually have some support and stuff.
Oh, they got some support. You got some images? That'd be nice.
Michael Prescott. Ooh, they don't have the HTTPS. Wonder what that's about.
That means that we're
support
in danger.
TPS. Oh, I just think they didn't write it down because they did the Patreon without it as well. They got that pretty sweet URLs. So their two URLs are, it's Trilemma Adventures, short role-playing adventures, musings on the hobby, illustration, and further afield. Their Patreon is patreon.com/adventures. So I have a feeling they were in this game quite a while ago, no pun intended. Their blog is blog.trilemma.com. So this is Michael Prescott. So this is an adventure location. It's very OSR style. There's a bunch of prompts, a little map. In old school gaming, there's very little of a storyline that you're following. So for example, again, I'm kind of regurgitating some stuff that Jeff and I talked about today. He was mentioning in 3rd edition of Dungeons and Dragons, people started having modules that had like a very linear kind of story, and it got people into this way of thinking that they're kind of audience members instead of players. So for whatever that's worth, I think it's an interesting thought. The old school gaming was more, here's a dungeon, there's a bunch of crap there, and you go around and what you do is the story. Which is why our games like Into Space and the Red Writ, while Dreadlore is not an OSR game, the play style is much more OSR because you're really going and doing whatever it is that, you're figuring it out. Blowing up my plans, that's fine. That's part of the player agency to go in and do what you can, right? So it's like, oh, so what that you're supposed to quote unquote do this or this or this, whatever. It's whatever the story is what you do. And that's kind of fun, I think. All right. Mulciber's Flute. Here's the situation. Actually, before we get into the situation, let's talk a little bit about your character. Do you have a name yet?
Yeah. It's a really good one. I thought long and hard. It's Emithri.
That's a name. What is it?
It's Emithri.
So Emmett. Okay. I'm at. All right. Mentally, I'm right.
Mentally,
A few X's, a few K's in there, a couple apostrophes. Good, solid
the
Dungeons
whole
and
name
Dragons
is
style name.
Imithrilac the Laurel.
Oh, you are a Zunes. I guess it does kind of make sense. I'm at. What a difficult name for a race of lizards to speak, because they don't have lips, you know.
Yeah.
Like saying a muh, it's hard.
Well, I guess they would pronounce it a wa. Yeah.
You still have to have lips to do a wah. Yeah, see? That's more like what they say.
Well, I'm translating. I mean, everything.
Right.
There's a little flowing specter that goes around him. A little scribe sprite.
It's true. Like, you know, dragons can't drink.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Think of a lizard with lips. It's just
every time I speak, I have to use my ability scroll of the void to, you know, communicate telepathically into the brain.
So technically, that's right. Technically, the scroll of the void is not telepathy. That would be phantasms. Phantasms is telepathy. Void is telekinesis and other things.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
So, and time as well. All right. So you are in the world of Craster, and the city that you're in is called Thrace. Thrace is in Azraelia. Thrace is it's an interesting city. Think of very Renaissance style. Renaissance buildings. There's filigree all over them. The style is ornate. The columns on the buildings are all carved ornately with rivets and like fleur-de-lises and all sorts of things. Think of Vienna. So there's channels of water that move in and around the buildings and such. And if you go far enough, there's waterfalls that go into, you know, the basin and the jungles before Azraelia turns into more of the desert off to the far east and the far west. You're in north central Azraelia, and to the north of you are tall mountains, cliff faces, and essentially the root of the rainy wilds. So that's sort of the territory. And you're in Thrace, which is a Vienna-style city. It's hot, which you probably love, being a reptilian Zuntz. There's a humidity in the air. They have the gondolas. I think that's what those are called, the boats, going to and fro. And all manner of Denna, so the sort of elfish kind of race that's most populous, as well as here and there, since you're so close to the rainy wilds, you might see an Ophidian or two. So the serpentine, slick, scaled, tailed cousins of yours, they always run in groups of 2 to 4, and they're pretty military minded. You may have seen another Buteau, so your sort, the dragon kind of kin, 1 or 2 within the last few weeks. They usually keep to themselves and stay north. Regardless, you are here in the city, bustling city. It is heavily entrenched in the occult and all manner of weird things. Thrace is in the south central part of the world of Craster. So if the north, which is Daloon and the Calgarian Empire, is the mainstay of trade in the north, Thrace would be the mainstay of trade in the south. You're very far from the Calgarians for any kind of war. Off to the west, you have the Azraelian houses. Way off to the east, across the desert, a place called the Belly, you have the Myroshi, where pirates and all that kind of thing are, airship pirates and such. North are the wilderness of the Rainy Wilds, and you have you guys. So this is a crossroads in many, many ways. Lots of people here are under false pretense. They are not here officially. And lots of weird parties are going on. You'll see adventurers moving to and fro. Everyone is moving around with like their cloaks up. They're obviously packing, weapons underneath the cloaks. They're very careful about showing their belongings and nothing that's flashy, unless you see someone who obviously is. And this is the person who's, maybe some sort of royal looking person. They've got like a doublet and the big, velvet cape and a throng of people, and they're really showing off their wealth. And it's all suspicious, people doing that. Why are they doing it? Everything's suspicious. So, Emmett, you find yourself having just arrived in this city of Thrace. Your plug, I believe, is to find the truth. You will have a trinket for this adventure. It is in the form of a ring, like a big ring with a, maybe it'll be silver, and it has this large, orangish, yellowish, think sulfur stone in it. It is precious, this thing. It's weighty. You're not really sure what it is, but it has mystical properties. That it can be used as a focusing device for magicka. But how to use it has been beyond you and beyond the Mages College in the Rainy Wilds, which is a very clandestine place, to be sure. You've been sent here to Thrace to find the origination of the stone, to find out how to use it, to find out more about it, anything. Supposedly, it has the secret to immortality, to perhaps the Philosopher's Stone, medicine, ultimate power. No one knows. The person you are looking for, who is rumored to be in the city, and this is seasons ago. So remember, a season in Craster, think like Game of Thrones. A season takes a very long time. It's roughly 3 years. It's actually 2.94, but whatever. It's roughly, or 2.74. It's roughly 3 years. So seasons ago is when this information came about. This person's name is Kyber Mulk. That is spelled Cibur and then Mulce. So you can pronounce that however you wish. I'm saying Kyber Mulk. Could be Sieber Mulche.
Cyber Mulk. Gee.
You know that Kyber is heavily entrenched in the occult and is apparently a very wealthy person. You find yourself getting out of one of the gondolas onto this cobblestone street, skinny cobblestone because there's water lapping around anywhere, Vienna style. Old buildings, some of them are rickety and such, although constantly being upkept, and you can hear parties going on in the balconies. Think of just before Mardi Gras in New Orleans, there's that fervent feeling in the city of anticipation, kind of at all times. There's music and busking going on here and there, people going to and fro. what are you doing? What are you bidding to sort of set forth this scene as you arrive?
As I arrive, I'm going to bid my new trait called "In the Thick of It" that I just came up with.
Nice. You get a pip for that.
And I just kind of stumble in the middle of things. Maybe it's the amulet that pulls me along, or maybe it's just my magical connection to the world. I always just kind of find myself into these situations. I don't know. I'm on the hunt for the truth, and I just need to follow my instinct to get into the thick of it.
As you bid in the thick of it, with the hustle and bustle, you being a Buteau, we should have a little bit of background on this. This is just for you to play with and to, well, have background. Buteau have hardier builds, thicker and drier looking scales, and eyes that first seem dark but flash like precious stones. Brilliant blacks and hues. You are very long-lived. Typically loving the stillness and silence. That's up to you. Let's see. How big are you? Give me just a second. Your diversity. Right. So, Buteau typically live around 200 seasons.
Whoa.
Which is around 500 years.
Wow.
Okay. So you guys are extremely long-lived.
So I'm probably 50 or 80.
Yeah, so you're actually very, very young in that regard. So their hands have 4 or 5 digits. It's up to you. You have claws. You stand about 6'6". So the average Zunth stands around 6.5 feet tall, whereas some of them can be as tall as 8 feet.
Oh, wow. Should we roll for height?
Yeah, why not?
Because I want to know if I can use that as a intimidating thing or just as
roll a high or low.
Okay.
No pun intended.
I guess I do the roll. Do you say high?
Well, we'll just tell me high or low.
I'm going to say high.
Okay, so that is low. So roll a d12. Do you want me to roll for you?
I just rolled a 3.
Okay. Well, that makes you 6'9".
Oh, 6'9". Okay.
No, you're like almost 7 feet tall. So you're huge. There's few other races that are that tall. The Myroshi are pretty tall. They can be around 6'8". Is the average is around 6 feet to 6'8". So you're tall. You're taller than the taller races. Massive dude.
Yeah.
You weigh several hundred pounds.
Yeah.
As you bid in the thick of it, looking around, sort of letting the stone lead you, you can almost smell the stone. It's not a good smell. It's it's kind of acrid. It's like sulfur, but it almost pulls you intuitively around the streets, through the crowds. You're standing. Most of the people come up to like your lower tit. Like you are just head and shoulders above everyone. Here and there's a Myroshi who comes close and kind of looks up at you as you move, parting this sea of people with your body. As you go in between the buildings, claustrophobic, considering your size. People getting out of your way. You going up stairs, around corners, being led on for a few hours until you find yourself outside of this tall door although for you it's not that tall. It's about 7 feet. So you walking through almost bump your head. The door is wooden, big Renaissance door. You'll note writing all around the arc or the archway of it. It is rounded at the top, so it's sort of a barreled ceiling. Stone building in kind of a nook away from the crowd. You can hear their sounds and footfalls echoing in this kind of, think of the place where you would go to where a dumpster would be. Okay. So it's dark here. Oh, it is dark outside as well. Yeah. And there's like a sconce that has, like a pitiful oil flame just barely flickering. The windows are low lit, and it doesn't seem like anyone is rowdy or partying in this building.
And I get a feeling from this building.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to search around and I'm going to bid my low light heat vision to see if I can see anything. Like I'll look through a window and see if I can see anybody inside or...
As you're looking about, bidding low light, despite the low light, with your infravision, you see all the details. Think of heavily contoured vision. So it's black and white pretty much in the darkness for you. You don't really see colors, but you can see the contour and the contrast of things. You can see like mice running around and rats and shit. And as you peer through one of the windows in this dark room that you can still see, it's a sitting room, luxurious furniture, a table with loads of writing and quills and an inkwell. There's that's been knocked over. Maybe the ink is dried. You see a hearth that's been extinguished for a long time. You can tell with your infravision. There's no heat coming from it. And at the floor, a body that's apparently fallen out of the chair or something. The body it has some heat to it, but you can tell it's probably someone who's dead. As you can see that there's blood next to their head. Looks like a doina or a human or half-elf, if you will. Woman. It's hard to tell any details beyond that. There's two doors that lead into this chamber. One from the main hallway, and then one that sort of leads out into something you can't see. Both are closed.
I'm gonna try and open the window in front of me.
Yeah, easily. You're tall enough. The window is like 6 feet off the ground, but you're tall enough to where like your entire head can see into this room as you open it up.
Then I'll scan around the room and maybe see if I can find something, see and listen to see if there's anybody, or any noises.
Doesn't seem like there is at all. In fact, it seems like the house is very quiet. What did you bid?
I didn't bid anything to go in.
You didn't bid. As you're listening.
I can throw down.
No. As you're sitting there listening, it doesn't seem like anyone is around. Yeah.
Do I smell anything? Do they have a sense of smell? Do they have a heightened sense of smell?
Yeah, you're a reptile. Yeah. You smell, smells like dinner in here. It smells like blood.
Blood.
And ink, soot from the fire. As you sniff, maybe taste with your tongue, fear, and something else that's hard to pinpoint. Load of emotions.
Anything feel familiar at all?
There's just the urging from that ring you have that inside will give you more answers.
Yeah, I'm going to crawl in the window as quietly as possible.
Okay, it will be very difficult for your 6'9" dragon body to, unless you're slender and slick and you have something that's like that. Maybe you're not a big meaty dragon guy.
I think I'm a little meaty and scaly. I'm wearing medium armor, so I think I kind of clunk around. I'm going to do my best to climb in the window. I don't think it's going to be quiet. And I'm going to use...
Yeah, you climb in.
I think it'll probably sound like clanging. And can I use a flaw?
Yeah, of
my
course.
Armor. I'm going to use my armor's flaw, noisy, to ding against scrape against.
So as you do this,
as
you do this, tell us what's going on since you've taken control of the fiction a little bit. How does this go down?
Well, I'm pretty tough. I'm gonna pull my axe off and throw it on the ground inside, and hoist my thing up, and then slide over it. It probably damages the windowsill a little bit.
Oh yeah, busts it.
All the wood is kind of splitting apart. It's like I don't know why.
It's 400 pounds, dude.
Yeah.
This armored dragon, slivers just pours into this room. Gulp, gulp, gulp.
I guess I should have gone through the front door, but I was already here.
Yep. As you do, you're in the room. As it's all busted up, you sort of roll and pop up, looking around, towering in this room. Your head actually hits the chandelier a little bit, bang, as you move around it, and can tell no one's on. The house seems uninhabited right now,
except for the dead body, or the
except
body.
for the dead body.
Or I don't know if it's dead or not. It's still warm. Still rigor mortis as not necessarily.
You can tell. You have infravision. You can tell. I mean, it's not as warm as it should be.
The very lukewarm
body. What are you doing?
I'm going to go examine the body, keeping an ear out.
Let's go to the body. You see that it is a female. She's wearing, looks like scholar's robes, perhaps. She has a blunt force trauma to the head. Her skull is caved in. Her eyes are open. She has black eyes, red hair. It's all curled up and caked in the blood. It's very long, trains down her back, and her body looks like she got brained and fell out of the chair. She's reaching out with this clawed-like hand, as in it's a normal hand, but as though she was reaching for something, or perhaps something was pried out of her hand.
I'll look above where her hand is to see if there's a mark on the floor or if there's something over there, like a book or.
You see on the table all these parchment pieces. The ink is spilled out everywhere. It looks like she was probably writing something, which has been completely destroyed since the ink is spilled out. And we'll say the ink's even still dripping a little bit. Every so often it splashes onto her body. And it's dried on the table. Trinkets of all sorts. As you're investigating maybe the table, it looks like she was researching something. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, it's kind of hard to tell. Do you bid anything, or are you looking for anything else?
I will bid my trait, who does action, is a wizard, to see if there's anything magical potentially about what she was writing. Or, wizards are, and it's spelled Wizard. They can read a little bit. There's education and knowledge in the magic.
As you're looking at what she's writing, or what you had been writing, it's written in several different languages, which you can read. let's say all of them. It's typical scholarly languages. And it seems as though she was researching as you shuffle through some of the papers. You look down and see this skull. There's something queer about the skull, something unholy. As you look around and see it has a scale, it shows a normal human, a normal Denna, next to the skull. And the scale of the skull is enormous. The size of just a massive boulder. Maybe 40 feet tall, this skull. In the shape of a Denna. So think of a half-elf. A Titan's skull. And in the writing, you see what it says. One moment. Mana is the life, it says. And next to the skull, it says the mouth of hell. As you're pilfering through some more of the writing, you see the stone that you carry in the ring you have, except it's a much bigger stone. It has all these arcane symbols and such, many of which maybe you've seen, but it's forbidden lore. You don't really know their meaning. It's in the pursuit of immortality, however. Alchemical writing. And it says, life is in the hate star.
All right. That's a big lore drop. I kind of step away from the table and I kind of smell around. Are there tracks for maybe where she was bludgeoned? If whoever bludgeoned her, accidentally tracked some of the. Can I spend a narrative point that maybe they did? They did this and hastily left.
You do. As you look around and you see, not in this room because it's got carpet, but in the other room, as you open the door and look, it's all darkened here. You can smell the snuffed out candle sconces. So you realize whoever left snuffed out the candles first. Maybe because they didn't want anybody to investigate. You look on the floor and see bloody footfalls that move hastily down the way. You're in the main house at this point. You're still in that research room or the library. It looks like there's a hallway. Imagine a U. So, how to put this? Let me draw it really quick, and this will help me describe.
Oh, and before we get too far away from the book, did the skull? Was there any location relating to about where this Titan was?
No.
Okay. Or country or general area?
Well, if you spend time in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might turn around and go back and see if I can get at least a general area.
Let me describe this and then we'll get to that, because that is definitely a thing. As you're in the right side of the house, as much as you've seen, looks like there's a couple stories, probably some sort of basement, which is the case in a lot of these buildings. Usually the buildings are symmetrical. The door that you were looking out led to a hallway that went the length of the house down. You could also go left. Had you gone left, there's the main hallway that leads to the entrance. Mm-hmm. And the hallway would also continue, it looks like, to another room and a hallway that turns right. So because we haven't gone that way yet, you're still in the study. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, study.
So you're pilfering through papers. And with your bit of wizards can read, you'll find some erratic writings. The erratic writings of Broomhild Montague. Summing it up as you sort of rifle through, taking a little bit of time. Kyber has been missing for months now. I don't trust Anastasia. I don't think she knows what's best. I think she's trying to take over. I'll tell the mistress, Polsha, soon. Seems like a diary. The hate star calls to me. I know it's somewhere deep below Thrace, but I know not where. Kyber found it. Polsha was with him, but she won't tell anyone where it leads. She goes secretly in the night and somehow avoids all prying eyes and appears back in the morning. Next time I see her, I'll make her tell me where it is.
So Kyber may have found this thing, and Kyber goes secretly. Is that correct?
Kyber's been missing for months.
Oh, it's Anastasia that goes secretly.
Polsha, no, Polsha is the mistress.
Yeah, in charge, yeah.
Yeah, and Anastasia is just someone else.
Yeah. So it's Polsha that is secretly.
Apparently, Polsha is secretly. Polsha was with Kyber when supposedly Kyber found the skull.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this thing called, apparently, the Hate Star, whatever that is. Brunhild is saying that someone else, Anastasia, she thinks is trying to take over Polsha's position. Mm-hmm. And Brunhild is going to tell Polsha about it. Mm-hmm. And also Brunhild is, next time she sees Polsha, is going to make her tell her where basically Kyber is. Where's the skull?
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha.
All right. As you're sitting here, having taken a little bit of time, you hear some footfalls, not close, but creaking in the house. Mm-hmm. Someone's doing something in the house. As you listen, it sounds like it's coming from above you.
It sounds like they're searching, maybe,
no, it just
or
sounds
packing,
like doing something.
Or doing something. All right, I will kind of creep out the door, and you said the staircase is towards the hallway.
So, as you move out, there's two doors. There's one to the front entrance, through the main hallway, and there's one that leads into the side hallway to the right. Mm-hmm. Which one do you go out?
I'm going to go back to the hallway.
All right, so as you go back, there's a hallway that leads down the length of the house, and you see at the end, there's like paintings and stuff on the wall and all sorts of stuff. At the end, there's a stairway that leads up to the upper room. Mm-hmm. That hallway also bends off to the left. So imagine there's like an island of some sort in the middle of this building, right? And the hallways go around it. Hallway also can go left. If you go left, there's the main hallway to the entrance, and then you keep on going. There's another room, and then the hallway bends right.
All right. Well, let's go to the main hallway.
So you go left or you go straight?
Left.
Okay. As you go left, to your left immediately is the main entrance. It's ornate and such. You see the main door, and there's a room just to the left past that looks like it mirrors the study. Both doors are closed. Passing that, you see the wall, and then off to the right is the other hallway. The other hallway, at the end of it, looks like there is a small door, and then it also bends around.
Okay. Let's go down the other hallway that bends around.
Okay. And you're attempting to slink out of here, or you're just moving?
I'm just moving. I don't think that I'm quiet at all.
As you get about halfway down this hallway, you see there's a door. This door is a normal sized door, so for you it's pretty short. You might have to duck a little bit to get through it. You're approaching that door. You see the doors at the end, and then the hallway will turn right to something. You don't know what's back there. You hear upstairs someone drop something. Silence. You're about halfway down the hallway as you're continuing to walk, and then you hear
Can I follow?
Run across the building.
Yeah, can I follow the footsteps on the floor that I'm at?
Yep. So it doesn't seem like it's beyond that door. As you round the corner, now you're at the back of the house, the back hallway. So what you find out is the hallway is a circle. I mean, it's a square.
Yeah.
Okay. It all connects. This is what you see looking down. To your right is a heavily reinforced door with a huge lock on it. Back to the left, as in all the way back down the hall, all the way in front of you, at the end to the left are those stairs that lead up.
Okay.
And that's about the time you see someone running down those stairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
they come out. Let me describe what they look like. You see a woman in very similar robes as Brunhild, covered in blood. She has extremely long black hair, except it's shaved on one side. Piercingly blue eyes. She's holding a lantern, an oil lantern, so you can see all this. Rough white skin. Doesn't look like she's out in the sun much, but it looks like she uses her hands a lot. She's skinny. She's about 5'1". Tiny person compared to you. She's Denna. Very sharp face. Actually very pretty. And you notice on her arms, as she has the lantern up, there are arcane markings that have been burned into her. As she as she takes off.
Hold on. Are you Anastasia? Are you Anastasia?
What do you bid?
I'm gonna bid.
Also, are you in the nude or something, or are you just hanging out?
I know. I got armor on.
Oh yeah.
It's probably chest, medium armor around. It covers up my sexy bits. I'm gonna bid my flaw alien. Because I probably look alien. Don't leave all yet. It's not. Just wait a second. It's not a good bid.
No, it's fine. You're attempting to convince her to stay, right?
It probably comes across I think it's coming across as nice, but it comes across as intimidating.
Yeah, I dig that. As you see her, she stops in her tracks, sort of seeing your armor and your weapons and all these things. Who are you?
I am Dimitri Lavak. I am looking for the hate star that calls me.
As you see her eyes furrow, as you see her put her hand toward the lantern, as the light goes out, In its darkness, of course, you can see. As you see her turn, she drops the lantern, ting, ding, 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 and she has her hands clasped. As you see the scars on her hands and beneath her cloak or her robes light up.
Oh, shit.
As she produces a fireball.
Can I spin cunning?
Yeah, you can. She's about a medium distance away from you as you feel the room heating up and the paintings start bubbling up with the heat as she's looking at you like she's going to blast you.
I'm going to try and run and grab her arm and put her arms behind her back to maybe counter the spell that she's casting. Or
okay, so you are a mage.
Yeah.
So you will know the spell's already being cast.
Oh, okay.
So there is a fireball here.
Yeah. Well, if I'm behind her,
she's just not able.
It's probably not going to go. Do I know that, or will it just light around her?
That you don't know. You don't know fire magic. But you do know that the spell is being cast.
Okay, then what I'm going to do is, can I do a counter spell?
You can try.
Okay.
The room is actually not heating up. That was my bad. The room, instead of the paintings bubbling, you see frost.
Okay.
As the room gets colder and colder, as she's pulling the heat out of the room to create this fireball. That's actually how it works.
And so basically, I will use my Scroll of the Void magic, and I'm going to bid my trait counter mage that I just created to activate my Scroll of the Void.
I like it.
Or nullifying mage or magic nullifier? Magic.
It's up to you, man. Whatever
I'm going to say counter mage.
Counter mage is pretty cool. I'm the counter mage.
When I'm done, you can put me on. Yeah. I'm mad.
So this is how it works. So this is how it works. Mm-hmm. You're bidding counter mage, right, to do this action, which is to attempt to counter spell her spell, to disrupt her spell.
Yeah, disrupt her spell.
You being a mage, know magicka is very difficult, tenuous, and each of the scrolls are very different. So just to mess up a spell is not too hard, but to know what she's doing, plus the fact that she has obviously magical tattoos, which obscures kind of how she's doing it, this is difficult to know how to mess with it. You'll know that the Scroll of Runes, those rune speakers are a lot better at this kind of thing. That said, you activate your magic. First thing you do, you throw down your chaos die. This is a D6. You do not want a 1.
I do not want a 1. What do I get with my roll? I got a 2.
Great. All right. As you throw down, so this will be your action die and your mind die.
That is 2 successes. And so far, do I need to?
All right. So I'm not going to tell you what the threshold is.
And what I'm gonna do is bid my because I'm gonna bid my Scroll of the Void telepathy. Or that's three success. Did I use the Scroll of the Void?
No.
Okay, and I'm gonna bid the Scroll of the Void to activate the Scroll of the Void, to use telepathy to kind of.
You don't have telepathy.
What is it?
Telekinesis.
Kinesis.
TK.
To try. I know I can't bind her mouth necessarily, but maybe to
You could try. You could hold her mouth shut.
Yeah, to do a hold on her mouth.
Yeah.
If there's
okay. So as you already activated through Countermage your magic, and now you're using the ability that gives you a +1, so you have to throw down.
Okay.
Remember your tier 1, so you got your ability down. You can do Ninja Gear if you wish.
And because I think this is important to talk to this one person of connection, I'm going to add my amulet to help me.
Okay. So do that extra die. And now I'll tell you what the threshold is.
Okay.
Threshold is 5. Very high.
Well, I didn't realize it was that high. So
you have 1 success already.
Yeah, but I have 3 successes after I rolled.
Indeed. Right, so you rolled 3.
It's not.
So now you have 4.
Quite.
So you need 1 more.
I rolled 2 successes.
Oh, so then you have 3.
So I have 3.
So you need 2 more.
So I need 2 more. Well.
Tier 1.
I know.
You can try to do something extra crazy to get an chaos die.
Yeah, I can. I have. So the arterial strike is with my melee weapon. It's a melee thing.
Yeah, you can't use that with this.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I got claws, I got skin.
Well, you can't do that because the action is you're trying to counter magic.
I know. I got my amulet that I bid. I have my I'm gonna.
You got proficiencies.
I know. I got a proficiency, so I might use a proficiency just because.
Yep.
That is a possibility, which led to an additional success. So I have 4 successes. I'm failing by 1, and I might do it again.
Better than failing by 2. That's way better than failing by 2.
And my last one is failing by 1. I am failing by 1.
All right. No breath. That'll take you to limbo.
No breath.
All right. As failing by 1, you whisper thoughts and messages into the void. The whispers that are constantly in your ear that are just turned down from gazing into the void, you basically turn up the volume, whispering them, trying to disrupt this woman's spell. As you see her eyes kind of like blink, as she's starting to lose her concentration, it's starting to disrupt a little bit as she yells, "No!" and shoots this fireball at you. Hadouken! Flying at you. It will reduce the threshold that you have to resist it or to get out of the way. So, this is throwdown.
Mm-hmm.
You can attempt to just resist it with mind. You can attempt to resist it with just your body, brawn. Try to get out of the way with grace.
I think I'm going to try and resist it with my body.
All right. As you do, make a throwdown. The threshold is 3.
And I'm going to use a proficiency. I'm just about out of proficiencies. And
Tier 1. Woo!
That is not helpful. And I'm going to use my medium armor.
Yep.
As did that give me an extra die?
Yeah. Gives you D8.
D8. Okay, that's 3. I got 3.
All right, so threshold 3.
I got 3. And don't I have skin? I think I'll just take it. Got 3.
All right. So threshold 3 means that you or limbo means you half the damage, and I rolled max. So 4 damage as these flames erupt around you, pushing you back just like a step or two, since you're this 400-pound dragon guy. So you take a step back, you see this woman running forward as she waves her hand across the locks. They magically open. She opens the door and runs down, but doesn't have enough time to close the door as you hear
I'm going to run after her.
You note her footfalls are leaving bloody trails.
Oh, shit.
She was covered in blood. As you get to the stairwell and see this odd dichotomy from the opulence of the house, this rickety, like obviously put in afterwards or perhaps long before, staircase. Nails jutting out and such. No ornation on the wall. Long staircase, and then at the bottom you see her disappear beneath the ceiling, and hear water splash 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 splash.
I'm gonna bid my new trait, Fast and Furious, to run after her.
As you bound with your dragon body down these rickety stairs, the first stair busts under your weight.
Oh no!
Bang! As you slam into the wall, and just it caves with you as you clang, 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 just wrecking this staircase down the way. Your armor scraping up the wall, and like wood and splinters going everywhere as you make it down to the bottom. The staircase is all in shambles behind you. Splash! You're up to mid-shin in water. As you look out ahead and see she's gone, it seems. But there's a corridor that leads around. It's like a sunken basement, basically. Driftwood, all sorts of forgotten furniture. It's all molded and cavernous in here. It smells like mold.
I am going to take off where and just kind of guess in a direction, follow my nose maybe.
Okay, what are you bidding?
I'm gonna bid my trinket.
So you bid the trinket. Which trinket is this?
The what is it? The little trinket, the sulfur star, Henry.
As you bid the trinket.
I'm sure that it'll kind of give me the idea of where to go. Like if following her is useless, or if
yeah. As you bid this trinket, taking your time moving forward, you move around to this back wall, kind of astonished at how large this basement is, as you realize it's probably a connected basement along this and maybe several houses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
In the nooks and crannies, you see, rats and perhaps even like a body that's been decomposed long ago. People have thrown things away here, never to be seen again. It's all dark, pitch dark. But the trinket leads you on. As you get to a place in the back wall, it looks completely flat, but somehow there's something beyond it as you push through and see that, in fact, there's this thick veil cloth that is just molded and looks like a wall as you push it back and see a crack in the foundation of the building. that is large enough to be a hallway, that even a Dunna would have to sort of contort and bend down. You see that it goes on. And having lifted the veil, you can just barely hear splashing of water way down the way.
I'll follow.
You do. This takes you some time as you're large, and you make a lot of sound. The claustrophobia is intense.
Stomp.
Hard to tell how much longer. 20, 30 minutes maybe. As you finally find yourself, after having moved through this crack and a couple twists and turns, even feeling quite lost, maybe even water up to your chest a couple times. You find yourself pulled out. You pull yourself out of the crack into this broken chamber. Dome ceiling. You know you're in the earth somewhere. And before you, in a massive pool of briny, acrid-looking water, a huge skull. The face of it pokes out. The skull of the smashed god rests in this pool of brine. It stares up at the gods defiantly, seething at their injustice. A divine relic, none in its presence can look away.
No.
With great astral breaths, it inhales. It inhales the mana and the ethos all around, breathing it down into its gullet, down into wherever it goes. You see, standing across from you, there's 3 other doors that lead into weird places. Standing across from you, this woman. She's dropped her bag. She's staring, bloody, eyes open, like she's been here for a minute, bloodshot, staring at the skull. She obviously senses you come in. What do you do?
I'm gonna avert my eyes away
Make
from
a sanity roll.
the skull.
For none can resist it. So make a sanity roll.
So there's that. There's that there. I got 1.
You will get a tick to your derangements.
Oh.
You gain the flaw. Yearning. As you're able to look around the room, but you find yourself unable to get the skull out of your vision. It has to be at least in your peripheral. You find yourself just unable to not look at it. This divine relic, as the stone almost calls to it.
The
and
stone,
you see this woman.
My.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The ring.
Yeah, the ring.
Obviously, the ring wants to be in that, or somewhere, something about it. You hear the woman speak. It's beautiful, isn't it?
I can't look away.
Pulsha was... I don't know how she left this place. If she truly found it. If she truly had seen this before. I think she was lying the entire time. Who would leave such a thing? As she's just kind of staring at it, not really looking at you. You said your name was Emmet?
Yeah. And where's Kyber? Have you seen Kyber?
I have not seen the high priest in months. She's looking down still. He must have found this too and found a way in to the Death Star. Hate Star.
What is in there? Why is this so special? I mean, other than it's intense.
Immortality, you fool. You see her kind of looking down, but kind of up at you a little bit.
You think you'll become immortal because of this?
Her face just sort of twists up in emotions. What do you do?
I'm going to try to get closer to her.
Yeah, you can easily move around.
And then I'm going to ask her, why do you need this? Mortality is a wonderful. Immortality is a curse.
It's easy for one such as you, so long lived, to say such a thing.
But you're young and beautiful yourself. Why taint that? After years and years of everything, don't you think that you deserve the luxury of death?
What are your flaws?
Yearning, alien, and I'm gonna have another flaw called sardonic.
I can understand that. I'm a bit yearning for you. You came all this way for a reason.
I don't know if I'm supposed to stop it or if I'm supposed to embrace it.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
But you did come here for a reason, to find the truth. So,
what do you have to do to become immortal?
they say, Kyber's teachings said, if one is worthy enough and strong enough of mind and heart to touch the hate star, it will take away all their pain and hate and evil and leave them in an effervescent state of immortality. And I think he went in.
Like immortality, like, cavemen trapped in the ice, or, those little mosquitoes trapped in that yellow glass.
Amber, you fool. Amber.
Thank you. I'm not a scientist.
As you're saying what you do, you see her brow furrow. She kind of barely looks up at you because you both are staring at the skull.
Can I make
you can't look away.
Can I make another attempt to look away?
You literally cannot look away from it.
Okay.
It is impossible.
It is impossible.
The divine relic, none in its presence can look away.
None. Okay.
It's divine. It is beyond both of you.
Well,
it's the god. It's a god's head.
Why do you hesitate?
She kind of looks up at you. You can throw down to react to this.
Okay. What am I throwing down?
To her action. As you see her step back in view of the skull and putting you between her and the skull. You see her cast.
Spin coming.
Oh yeah, okay. What are you doing?
I'm going to bid my axe.
The room gets cold again, by the way.
Yeah.
As she's drawing the heat.
Well, I'm going to bid my new trait that I haven't figured out what it is. Magic pusher.
Okay.
I'm going to try and pull out my axe and push her over, like push her towards the statue to like hook her
or the skull
or the skull, and then use like my void magic to use my telekinesis to push her in.
Okay, so you're gonna try to grab her with your axe, and
like
then use void
get
magic,
the momentum, and
then toss her in with void magic.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what are you bidding?
I'm gonna bid magic pusher.
Okay. So as you do this, she obviously resists. So go ahead and throw down. First thing you should do, since you're using void magic, is your chaos die.
Yeah,
so
chaos
D6.
Die. Chaos die, which is a 1. I'm gonna use my last.
It's good to keep one of those around.
My last one of those.
That would be bad.
Which is the 3.
All right. As you don't fail the chaos roll, all right, go ahead and throw down. The threshold to defeat her on this is 4.
Yeah. I'm gonna spend. Is this a brawn?
Yeah, brawn would work.
All right. I have 2 successes. It's not enough. Can I spend a breath?
Yeah, to go to limbo?
Yeah, go to limbo.
Absolutely. As what happens, you quickly whip out your axe, getting the flat end and curling it around her tiny body and pulling her past you. Using void magic, you call out into the void whispers as you feel her lift off the ground as she goes, "Oh gods!" as you try to launch her, but you hit limbo as her spell is going, and she shoots the spell off. You're holding onto the axe as she flies out over top the skull, and at the same moment, since you're holding onto the axe, you're pulled forward with her since it's so fast and explosive. As you're at the edge of this thing, let's find out if you fall in or not. I think a fate roll is up to
nice.
up to here. So it's a D100. I will be false fortune.
Oh no.
Your fortune.
That makes sense.
False fortune is I'm actually not going to tell you which one it is. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, so I'm fortune, you're false fortune.
Yep. So
And
go ahead and roll.
We're rolling to see who rolls highest.
Oh yeah.
And I rolled 74 for a total of 11.
All right. For an 11?
No, it's 74. But 7 plus 4 is 11.
Oh, indeed. As you're on your tippy toe, as you catch your balance, standing there, as fortune wins, you see her fly over, slam into the skull, bounce off into the brine, and for a moment, you think that's it.
But it's not.
Until, hovering in air, half her body in the brine, you see the skin flayed from her body. She has no time to even scream as you see her soul sucked out into the skull. What's left of her body falls into the brine as you look down, horrified, and see the bones all around of others who have fallen. You gain a derangement.
No, nice.
And a flaw,
All right.
which is fear of death.
Death fear. I mean, that seems
And find yourself
correct.
hours later staring at the skull, not knowing how to leave this room.
stuck.
And that's where we're gonna end.
Yeah, it seems like that is. There's truth. Truth.
Is
to
there
that.
a way for you to end, or to get out of the room?
Well,
I'll give you 10 seconds.
I will bid my scroll of the void. Do I have a thing? I'm going to bid my death fear to activate scroll of the void to try to push myself out of the room.
Yeah, you attempt to, but the moment that you get
to
enough,
activate it.
Yeah. As you attempt to leave the room through one of the doors, you can walk backwards and push yourself out. But when you get to the point where you are not going to see the skull anymore, you find yourself, it's almost like you're chained.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot let it out of your gaze.
I will take my ring, my trinket, and get much closer, and I will try to push the trinket on to the skull.
And that is where we're going to end. As the attempt continues. Okay, so that is Mulciber's flute. Obviously, the skull is something interesting, and the adventure continues elsewhere. But that is for another story.
Well, geez. What a day.
That's OSR.
Yeah.
That is old school shit.
What
like where
thing.
In the really old stuff, it'll be like, if players go into this room, they die.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just go and do non-existence. Shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's pretty good.
This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
And that's about a quarter of the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So the adventure occurs after you go through the skull. So that's kind of like what's going to happen. You don't have to go through the skull the way that she did.
Mm-hmm.
There's another way through, but you find it.
Yeah.
We'll play it again.
Yeah.
And it'll be a cool thing, because the other characters, when they come in, they'll find you at the skull, and you can actually kind of talk to them, which will be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Do you want
to lead us out?
Do you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Is that a thing that I'm good at for some reason?
You are good at that.
Tonight we've been playing Dreadlore, even though it's the Geeky Gamer Podcast, which is wild because it's not something we typically do. On the Geeky Gamer, I guess we review games, and
actually,
this is season 2. We're reviewing games. So what a wonderful game. The dark, horrific, a fun narrative-based way of describing reality. Thanks, all lowercase letters, Mr. Empdrup, for the music, and Couchfire Media for the art media production, as well as Trois Replay production. Woo. Copyright 2018 to 2023 for all the shit they do. Catch us next Thursday at exactly 3 p.m.
Exactly 3 p.m.
3 p.m. Eastern Time.
Eastern Standard.
Because that's when all this shit is happening.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
We'll see you Thursday at 3 p.m.
Indeed.